This examination supports a theory that the original videotape footage during the recording of crash and crash sites on 9/11 produced at least 5 identical negotiable instruments of value during 5 staged assassination hits. Targets were pre-selected to maximize the shock value recorded in the original video footage, later to be used to influence the outcome during negotiations and racketeering activities and murder-for-hire networks. These instruments of value are essentially snuff films, used later to intimidate. The criminal enterprise ultimately seeks only the videotape recording itself as proof of a prior boast. For example, flying hijacked passenger aircraft into skyscrapers or military or government buildings, and not be found out. This compilation of recorded video and witness testimony is presented to show how each air weapon event occurred during the Clinton administration approved, General John Shilykashvili instituted, War Games Stand Down of Force order, allowing Canada to command North American airspace during an ongoing annual joint air war exercise, Global Guardians and Vigilant Guardian. This allowed 3 of 4 weapons to reach their targets. 1 did not. The pattern of the enterprise was nearly revealed in the late afternoon, when apparently scripted statements prematurely announced the collapse of World Trade Center 7 some 20 minutes before it happened, along with early injected false signatures as altered cockpit recorded messages presumed to be broadcast from Flight 93 provided to the media. This action of spinning the public opinion is part of the pattern of the criminal enterprise, connected by the similar methods by unusual supporting evidence, such as red team headbands after a fiery crash, and Arab passports miraculously found at crash sites after the combustion of thousands of gallons of jet fuel. All the events of the day were followed by the methodical introduction of convenient evidence to support the terrorist angle, all the while removing evidence to garbage dumps and foreign smelters to prevent evidence discovery by chemical analysis. The pattern of the enterprise has been identified and developed by the forensics economists of Hawks Cafe. The 5 events have 5 coordinated operational functions: to spot and track a target, to shoot, or rather videotape the attack for future use, to snuff and destroy a target by various weapons, to spin the event using the media to cast false testimony on the innocent, to spoil conclusions, adding or removing evidence to support the spin to change the public perception of the hit. And this pattern has been seen before, where an assassination is performed in the public view. Evidence is removed, the witnesses are silenced, stories are spun, commissions issue incomplete reports. The 5 events employed very special weapons not easily commandeered. Yet all can be connected to the same criminal enterprise by the pattern of the enterprise and in the execution of the functions of the pattern. It can be said confidently that for all the attacks to be part of an international criminal activity performed in plain view on the national stage, it will require years of preparation during previous administrations of the United States government to put such an enterprise in place well in advance of the day of execution of the operation. It would without a doubt take a professional level of knowledge of the secure operations of American and Canadian military and commercial airspace. And under the administration of Bill Clinton, Dr. John Deutz lost 14,000 pages of classified CIA files while using them at his home. Clinton pardoned him on his way to the Bush inauguration less than an hour before leaving office. And the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General John Shilykashvili, rewrote new operational orders allowing for a handover of American airspace to the Red Team attackers in the June Air War Games of 2001, Amalgam Virgo. But Amalgam Virgo was also supported with inappropriate UN MOVIC weapons inspectors funded with $100 million provided by Saddam Hussein. It is now clear why. As an information gathering opportunity, it paved the way to transfer the knowledge for Global Guardian, another bigger war game in September. It would take having correct encryption keys to break into military comm links and nodes. And under the Clinton administration, Bruce McConnell gave our encryption key codes to foreign powers, allowing penetration of our secure communication systems to acquire targets, track them, and eliminate them, and the covert monitoring of cell phone communications by Al-Qaeda and others using Iridium, the system that is currently being used by the American and British military, managed by Boeing Canada and McDonnell Ditweiler Association, at the Canadian Satellite Hub at Gatineau, Quebec. It would take QRS-11 installed flight control modules for out-of-the-pilot's control command of passenger jets already in place before their use. And during the Clinton administration, Pentagon Procurement Officer Darlene Druyan and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General John Chilikashvili, funded the development of the QRS-11 triaxial remote guidance system called JPALS for the Air Force. Boeing sold QRS-11 avionics modules embedded in 96 737 passenger jets illegally to China in 2000. And in 2002 was caught by Lufthansa Airlines after installing these triaxial systems illegally in German passenger jets. Boeing aircraft with this system pre-installed do not need pilots on board to fly the aircraft. It would take a team of thousands to spin and spoliate evidence. Organized labor under the influence of the Montreal-based Rizzuto crime family provided for this workforce of American truckers, American postal workers, American airport security employees, American air traffic controllers, with Montreal Engineering Company employees, by maintaining union bank accounts in Canadian private equity pension funds out of U.S. oversight, but still able to be awarded cleanup contracts secured through the Mayor's Office of Emergency Management in New York City, the office of the Honorable Rudy Giuliani. This level of knowledge precludes external groups with limited resources. And 6 days after 9/11, Osama bin Laden announced that he had nothing to do with it. But this story changed as the Pentagon and CIA began releasing poorly made, unclear images of actors imitating bin Laden in follow-on terrorist videos. It is evident that a government-sponsored disinformation campaign had been instituted and used since 9/11 to maintain an official determination of fault. All the air weapons during Global Guardian were planned as decoy and drone attacks, but the flight paths reveal a curious coincidence. When examining the location of their radical course changes, they occur near military bases participating in the Global Guardian war game. Flight American Airlines 11 left Logan Airport in Boston and flew northeast, and likely rendezvoused with a weaponized decoy east of the Needs Center launched from Griffith Air Force Base in Rome, New York. This was the base that was contacted by the FAA as the go-between to NORAD after the first hijacking was realized. The weaponized drone was flown with no pilots or passengers, just fuel. Near the target, the actual American Airlines Flight 11 made a rapid left 90 and flew east out over the Atlantic, out of sight, while the weaponized drone was filmed hitting the North Tower below the offices of Cantor Fitzgerald's carbon trading unit, Cantor CO2E, killing 658 employees. The Naudet brothers were well positioned to film the drone fly into the target.